Hello everyone that's tuned into my channel. This is a new space, new experience here for me. You may have seen me at the AUC Talks channel. Really enjoyed there. What we have going on is more focused on the USMNT and with a larger, broader panel. But here you're stuck with my ball knowledge, which may be questionable at times. Here I am, last minute video, trying to bring to you guys a championship table preview of how the most exciting league, in my opinion, in the world, not in terms of quality, but in terms of stakes. It is the biggest prize money that we have in world football, world soccer, world calcio, however you want to call it. It's getting to the Premier League, who I picked to get to the promised land. In first place, I have Coventry. A bit of a shock here, but I think that with the third best defense last year, and with Gustavo Hammer, who I rate as one of the best players in the league, they should have enough to go up, in my opinion. Plus Lewis Binks, who did really well at Como, granted is Serie B, but I'm a Venezia fan. I really like watching Serie B. I think he's a good center back, especially back home. You know, in England, he should be doing well. As well as with Van Ewijk, Sakamoto. They both play the same position, but Sakamoto's an end product machine. Granted, he was playing in Belgium, but I think it's a really solid signing. And Van Ewijk could even play maybe as a winger possibly. And Thomas as well, who had a great season at Barnsley, but obviously wasn't going to get any minutes in the Prem with Burnley, who are the club that own him, had his contract, so they sold him to Coventry. I think he should slot into that back line nicely as an option. So I have Coventry going to the promised land. They should have enough, especially if they sign Haji Wright as well. No American bias, but with Sakamoto putting in crosses, Van Ewijk putting in the crosses, and Van Hammer providing the box-to-box service that he does, I think Coventry should be good to get to the promised land. In second place, I'm going with Leicester to make a comeback to the Premier League. Maybe it's a bit of a hot take because of the players that they lost recently, but I think that Harry Winks, Cody, who should be a leader, Doyle, and Mavididi, mark the name. I think Mavididi is going to prove to be one of the best signings for the championship this year. He is a great winger coming from Ligue 1. And most importantly, Enzo Mareza. We saw what happened with the last assistant coach coming from Man City to transition to a full-time job. Mikel Arteta doing a great job. So I think that Mareza is going to prove that that style that dominated the league last year with Vincent Kompany can be effective and prolific. So he's going to lead Leicester back to the Prem. Now in third place, and the club that I picked to actually win the playoffs and make it all the way to the Prem, is Sunderland. We saw how much they bounced back last season, even ended up making to the playoffs. But I think that with Clark, who's one of the best players in the league, Patrick Roberts, the City Academy product, who never really came out to be the player that a lot of people hyped him up to be, but he's doing pretty well in the championship. I think both of them should do enough to get Sunderland to the playoffs, do it the hard way, but they should be able to do it. Bradley Dack, if he stays fit, he could also be a good help for them throughout the season, because they did lose Diallo, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not putting them for automatic promotion, and I think that they'll have to do it the hard way. Fourth place, I have Norwich. I think they'll just make the playoffs, but they won't ultimately go up. With Guilherme Sara and Marquinhos, I think that Norwich are going to have a really pacey attack with Sargent as well, who's a workhorse. Granted, no Timo Pukki this time around, but they are set on a manager. They're not going to switch around. I think that David Wagner had some good moments, and with the great preseason they're having, I picked Norwich to get pushed by the fans all the way to the playoffs, but sadly won't make it. Now in fifth place, Middlesbrough. I'm picking them to fight for a place in the Premier League. I wouldn't be shocked if they do make it all the way there, but I think they have too many youngsters, so they're ultimately going to fall short. And Vanderberg is one of the great signings in this championship. I mean, you guys can probably tell I watched quite a bit of Eredivisie. I think that he's a great center back, and I expect him to definitely make the jump to the Prem, but not with Borough. Now in sixth place, Millwall. Nobody likes us, but I would definitely like to see them make it to the playoffs and possibly the Premier League as well, where they had a solid season last year, and I think they have good players, but we pushed around and they got a valuable experience last year on how to fight for a playoff spot. So I'm picking Millwall to get to the playoffs, but get knocked out early. Now, the championship is a really long league. It's a really nice league to talk about, but I don't really think I'm going to get too many views out of this. And for time's sake as well, I mean, it's coming out tomorrow. I need to edit the video really quickly. I'm just going straight to the clubs that I think will go down. QPR, I'm sorry, James Lawrence Scott, a great channel. I love to watch him. Maybe one day I'll actually be noticed by these big channels, but I'm picking QPR to actually go down. The second worst defense last year in the league. And with really bad, shaky preseason and a lack of signings that would excite any fans, I don't think that they're going to stay up. The level of championship is going to be really high this year. Leeds as well. I didn't even pick them to make the playoffs. I think they'll be navigating throughout mid-table. It just tells you the quality of the league. I think the championship could easily be one of the top 8 best leagues in the world, even though it's a second division. So QPR going down. And I'm with Argyle. I picked them to go down as well. Losing Ennis, who's by far their best player in my opinion. Granted, I didn't watch a lot of League One because Blackpool wasn't there last year. Sadly, they're going back. I like Blackpool quite a bit. I think that Plymouth, they're not going to have enough to stay up. Good attack, but again, lost their most influential players, so I don't see them surviving. And Ipswich as well. It's sad to see clubs bouncing, going up and getting knocked down immediately right afterwards. I'm a Paraná fan as well from Brazil. That's where I grew up. I'm from Curitiba, but anyways, I think that they have a really young squad, not enough signings, not enough investment. Sorry, Ipswich. I think you're going back down. Anyways, I try to make it as quick as possible. The subject isn't that hyped up around, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends if you can, and subscribe to AUC Talks. That's the main channel that I'm a part of, and I would be honored to have you guys there as well. I'll see you next time with hopefully a better video, more well constructed, with more time on my hands to give out better predictions. I'll see you next time.